3, 2, 1. Welcome to Thorns Live, presented by Toyota, streaming your YA live for post-game analysis, interviews, and hey, we want you fans to reach out and send us a question or two. We're excited to be with you. The Thorns just coming away from that 0-0 draw against OL Reign in their final NWSL Challenge Cup match before the quarterfinals. Of course, coming your way, that match from Utah. Good morning, Ann Schatz, joined by former Thorns standout defender Marian Dougherty. Delighted to have you with us, Marian. Always good to see you safe and sound in your Portland home. Let's talk about today and the draw for the Portland Thorns. Still winless in this tournament. They knew they had to at least beat this Seattle club to avoid Carolina in the quarterfinals. That did not happen.
Yeah, they definitely need to still continue to work on their attacking third and finishing. I mean, that's the bottom line. I do think though that there's some really great highlights that we've seen consistently across the past 4 games, and that's their possession. That's the possession of the ball through the midfield, keeping the ball, getting it wide. So there's some really positives there. The other one I think is also just their defensive pressure. So that means that the moment that they give up the ball, that they're closing in on the defense, on their opponent. And I think they've done an incredible job at forcing turnovers, especially in the middle third to the final third. And that's really allowed them to be closer to goal when they do cause those turnovers. So now
there's one
putting
match
the ball in the net.
Yeah, well, okay, you're reading my mind. The fact that the final third, there have been great runs. We've gone wide. We've switched points of attack. We've had the ball at the feet of the right players, but we just are unable in that 18 or maybe even from distance to find that elusive goal. And obviously that's hurt us. 2 goals in the 4 games that we've played.
Yeah, I think we've done a really good job of getting the ball wide and then, getting in. Where I think that, the Thorns really need to focus in on is the connecting between, Sink and the 2 other forwards, and the passes and the ball behind the back line. Like the creativity in the, I think down the center of the field is lacking. And then I also think when the ball is wide, getting more numbers forward is key. Okay,
so there's kind of a log jam for positioning, seeding ever so important for this tournament style scenario. But we do know Carolina is number 1. And we do know that we are number 8. So we know who we will be facing in the quarterfinals, date yet to be determined. Hopefully a full complement of players. We know Haran didn't play today. Menges didn't play. We saw, and we're so delighted that Angela Salem, that knee has responded. She is back from the ACL last year. She has been really rock solid for the Portland Thorns in this tournament play. And I believe Angela is on board with us. There you are, Angela Salem. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate it.
Hi.
Good to see you.
Good to see you guys.
Let's talk about today's match, Angela, where help us understand, is there frustration amongst the Thorns? 0-0 draw, a rare scoreless situation against the OL Reign. Where's the club's head and heart right now, moments after the game concludes?
Yeah, they were obviously disappointed with the result because we feel like we worked really hard and we got the position in the wide areas, had some crosses in this game, and we're just not able to find the back of the net. So yeah, leaving this game, it almost feels like a loss when you feel like, the whole team collectively is leaving it on the field and trying to create, and it's just not falling our way right now. Having said that, there's positives to take away and things that we can prepare for Friday. And we just got to move forward from today.
Great. Thanks, Angela. Quick question for you. So can you just kind of talk us through just the overall impact you believe you've had on this game and even the past 3 other games, and kind of what you're looking for as you enter into this next game against Carolina that you want to bring?
Yeah, I just think with my role on the field as the 6th, it's just kind of creating balance for Sinky and Rocky and Lindsay, trying to give them that freedom to be the creative players that they are. I feel like that's been my focus, is just, filling in the spaces that they leave, kind of connecting them into the game. So being an option for the back line as well. So just kind of being that link up play between the back line and then the midfielders. And then once I get it, just trying to find them to get them involved in the game, so that they can do their thing and create some chances for us. And moving in and facing North Carolina, that will be the same focus.
Angela, what do you take away from, it seems like forever ago when you and Carolina, the Thorns in Carolina, opened up this NWSL Challenge Cup tournament in Salt Lake City in front of a massive CBS audience. Boy, that was a tight match, obviously going Carolina's way. What do you take from that match that you can apply to the quarterfinals, but skew it in favor of the Thorns in terms of what you bring to the pitch?
Yeah, I think the game that we gave the game that everyone wanted to see, a North Carolina versus Portland game. It does feel long ago, but I think it was a positive because we were in it in the game, and especially with all the new players that we had on the field, myself included. I think we were left disappointed in that game as well, giving up last minute goal or last couple of minutes goal. We've played them enough. We know what they like to do. So I think, we've watched film on that game. We've figured out what their strengths are, how we're going to defend the box, when they're whipping crosses in. And then I just think having that confidence, just going up against them, we did it for most of the game when we played them. And this time we need to have a 90+ minute performance against them. We can't just check out for any minute, because that's why they're so good. They will punish you.
Yeah.
Angela, thanks a ton for taking the time as always. It's so great to see you back on that pitch. So great to see you back healthy. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thanks.
Ooh, she mentioned all the new players. Parsons certainly has dipped into different rotations and that bench. And some of these players that may not normally get minutes, Marian, have been making the most of some opportunities.
Absolutely. And it's great to see. I mean, I think just given, the situation that we're all living through right now, the fact that, in regular season, if everything was going as normal, some of those players wouldn't get to see time.
Right.
And Mark wouldn't get to see what they're capable of. And now, given this tournament and the opportunity that some of these players are given, he gets to see what they're capable of. And that will only help for next season as they, look into what changes they need to make next season and how they want to approach it as a team. So, there are really some underlying positives here. And I think the fact that you see different players getting minutes and gaining confidence and figuring out how to come together as a team is a huge win.
So we mentioned the fact that Haran with her hip did not go today. Emily Menges, noticeably missing with a calf injury, did not play today, which meant that Kat Reynolds' insertion into the starting lineup was absolutely huge. The veteran just locking things down as she does with Kling. Kat Reynolds making her first start, if I'm not mistaken, of the tournament. Kat, yay to getting that starting nod. How are you feeling? And you look like your old self out there today.
Oh, thank you.
Not old. Not old. Just you look like yourself today.
Yeah, old is true. Yeah, I'm feeling good. It's been, a tough few weeks just dealing with a quad strain, but I've gotten a good week of training this past week and felt good going into the game. So was happy that I was able to contribute, and obviously hope Em recovers quickly. But yeah, I was happy to be out there today.
I didn't think I'd ever see you at center back.
You know how that goes as you get older and older. You move further back in central.
In central. Next, we're going to see you in goal.
Probably not.
I'm just kidding.
Retirement comes before I.
You did a really nice job, Catherine. I was really impressed. Can you kind of just talk us through just what were some of the key areas you wanted to focus in on, leading the back line and this kind of being your first game playing as center back?
Yeah, I kind of just wanted to focus on driving the line and kind of like you said, just being a leader back there. Emily does usually usually does a great job leading us. And so I kind of wanted to take over that role and just driving the line and making sure we were dropping at the right times, making sure we were getting in our zones when they were getting crosses off. Sorry, these earphones keep popping on my ears.
You're good. You're good.
And yeah, just making sure we were really solid defensively, winning all the aerial battles. And just seems like in this tournament, a lot of goals have been scored off crosses to the back post, just making sure that we're getting in our zones and marking up the players as they come in. So those were my main areas of focus. And then I feel like it was kind of a bonus that I was able to get up the field and get some crosses off. Wasn't really expecting that, but I always like to try and contribute offensively as well. So that was nice.
Yeah. And you know what's coming, and you know who's coming in terms of the first knockout round challenge for the Thorns. It'll be a rematch of this tournament anyway with Carolina. Your thoughts on a few days to prepare for a team that has solidified first place in the Challenge Cup?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to have to beat North Carolina to win this tournament, so might as well just do it now. It's of course going to be a tough battle, but we've been playing well. Like, we're playing good soccer. We just need that final piece to click. We need to put the ball in the back of the net, and I think we're so close. And I think that if we can just focus on those last details, that we're good to go. We're ready.
I got to ask you before you leave. You guys finishing in the basement, if you will, in this tournament, in terms of, winless, had a couple of draws. So you're facing the number one team. Let me ask you this, Catherine. You will be the decided underdog in this match against your arch rival. Is that okay with you guys?
Yeah, that's fine. I think that playing with an underdog mentality is always beneficial. And yeah, I mean, we are the underdogs and we need to play like it.
Come out, nothing to lose, right?
Yeah, nothing to lose.
Hey, so glad to see you back in that starting lineup. And to Marian's point, I don't care where the heck they put you. I just want you on the darn field.
Same, thanks.
Good.
I liked it. You did a great job.
It was.
Thanks, Mare.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So good to see you, Mare, on here.
Oh my gosh. So nice to catch up.
Yeah,
I'll see you when you get home.
Can't wait.
This is what I like. Let you guys just go back and forth. This is fine by me. This is worth it. This is great.
I keep asking for you.
Catherine, rest up, recover, stay safe, stay healthy, and see you in the quarterfinals.
Sounds good. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Marian, isn't it great when you get to, I know it's not face-to-face, but these calls are pretty darn close when you get to see some of your old teammates. How great is that?
Oh, I love it. Well, especially seeing Catherine too, because we played together at Santa Clara, and it was funny. We crossed over for a year at Santa Clara, and she ended up, when I left, taking over the outside back position, the right side. So it was super fun to always watch her and just see what she brought to the game. And that's why I was joking with her about the center back, because I never thought I would see her in the center of the pitch.
What a warrior she has been for the Thorns since the club acquired her. But it's going to be really important, I'm thinking, defensively, knowing that the courage lie in the weeds for Menges to be back and be healthy with that calf.
Yeah, Menges is so key for many reasons. One, her leadership. It's kind of like a silent leadership, in my opinion, but just her presence on the pitch and her ability to use her speed in tight situations, I think is unprecedented. I mean, she's one of the quicker, faster players I've watched on the pitch, and I think her ability to recover is what that team needs. And so, yeah, I think it's going to be key that they try and get her on the pitch.
Thorns Live, presented by Toyota. We're in the middle of our post-game show, Ann Schatz, Marian Dougherty, and we love it when the fans chime in and either have a thought or a question. This is when I get the old specs, because I think we're going for a question or two, Marian Dougherty. All right, Mark Kostic, what do you got? Give us a little something. Okay. Oh, wait a second. Before we get to Renee Baxter, Mark Parsons, good to have you with us, buddy.
Hey, what's up, guys? No, we can do two, but yeah, we can do two things. You can speak with me and answer Renee's question. It's a good one.
We'll
And it's one that I want to know the answer to.
They took Renee's question away, so she's waiting, you know, off
No
camera,
worries.
if you will. All right, break it down, buddy. Possession-wise, I got to think you're happy with possession. With how Mary and I were talking about going wide, springing different parts of attack and switching things up, and yet that elusive goal. Your take on the match?
Yeah, it's not about possession. It's about our control. We had the ball, but we were constantly threatening and building into good areas of the field. I think there's been two differences in teams in this tournament. There's been the team that has the ball and isn't purposeful, and then there's two teams, and we're one of them, that is really deliberate and purposeful with the ball. So the 95% of the performance was unbelievable today, but it freaking stings because what let us down today, the ideas were much better, the movements were much better. We're getting into the final third in much more controlled ways with great shape behind that to maintain the attack. But the final pass, cross, finish, yeah, it wasn't good enough. It wasn't at the level of the Thorns. Yes, we were lacking tactically. We needed to improve this week. They done great work. We weren't good enough. And the only person I thought was absolutely on fire with her best performance in that area of the field was Sink. And at halftime, we kind of talked about the reward. We need to reward the work that we're getting from her because she's not just. It wasn't just offensively. Defensively, she's picking up balls and starting our attack in the midfield, and then her ball setting people up for success was very good. So yeah, it's that 5% stings like hell because you know we've conceded a goal in the last moment against Carolina, game one, which we played well, and then we've had three incredibly dominant performances. And right now, it doesn't feel like we got loads to show for it. But we built a mentality before we come into this. We're chasing excellence. We're chasing growth. And this team is playing better, apart from that area, than for a long period. Are we more prepared going into this knockout round than we would have been previously, like going into the semi-final last year? I think we're much more prepared. We're in a great position to get after North Carolina. I don't believe we're in a great position in putting the ball in the back of the net. That's the reality. And we got to find that in this 4 or 5 days. And when I say find that, it's more of now the players stepping up and producing that piece, that pass, that cross, that shot that makes the difference because we lacked it. Everything else was there today, but we lacked that final piece.
Yeah, Mark, what kind of conversations are you having with, you know, a Weaver or a Charlie on, you know, aspects of their game and how, you know, you can encourage them to get more shots on goal or be a little more aggressive when it comes to that? I mean, you look at the game today, Weaver, you know, had a really great opportunity and in front of goal, she beat the player one-on-one. Could have taken a shot. He chose to pass it off. So what are some of those conversations you're having with them?
I think it's a great question. And first of all, you know, a lot is suddenly falling on Weaver, Tyler, Simone. There's some big players missing from this group right now. And we're embracing that. What I'm saying is this, you will, I will, they will, nip and tuck every single detail. So it's they're stepping up and doing a good job, but we obviously would love them to do a great job. And what you asked there is key. You know, every single meeting, every single time we're on the field, the word of the tournament has become shoot. For 2.5 weeks, right? We've been in Utah.
Yeah.
It is. I don't. If we say the word again, like it'd be the millionth time. So what we can do is video. What we can do is have conversations. What we can't replicate is the hours and automation on the field, obviously with this build up, and players are stepping in probably earlier than we thought, and we're really relying on them. I'm really excited for the future of what these players, the forwards, the young forwards like Weaver are doing right now. And we just got to find a little bit more net right. It's short term. I think the big thing here is when I spoke to a couple of forwards before this game, and we had a great training week, was really reflecting on who they are as individuals and what the team needs. And I think what came out is that there's been a pressure that, you know, we want to do the right thing at the right time, give the ball to the right players. And there was a big reminder of be who you are. And I thought Weaver, up until that moment, I thought Weaver was who she is, beating people 1v1, holding her runs, breaking in behind. And then just overthought at the end there when in training, I mean, I've got all the video clips. In training, she's banging goals left, right, and center all week. So yeah, we're getting closer. Not good enough today. That 5%, and there's no hiding from video. Right, as we ramp up for Carolina's crunch time, that moment you talked about, and other moments when people can't hit across that they do in their sleep, those moments we won't be able to hide from them. But we got to build off the other stuff as well.
We won't hold you to anything, but if you had to make an educated guess, Mark, the availability of Menges and Haran in the quarterfinals.
Oh, remain very hopeful for both. Hopeful. I think that's the plan, right? It wasn't worth the risk today. Hopefully both are back.
All right. So obviously a quick rest and recovery time frame, and you know who's coming next. You guys opened the tournament, you and the Courage. Guess you might as well open the knockout rounds, right?
Yeah, it took care of that matchup, took care of preseason mentality. You know, we're going to have to be our best. And I think we reap the rewards of that, playing a good team. Same here. There's no warming up into knockouts. It's crunch time. It's make or break. And I think that suits us.
Mark, thanks as always for taking the time. Really appreciate it. And I know you guys have got a lot to work on. Should be really exciting against Carolina, regardless of what day or what time you play. At least you know who you're playing.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. See you soon. Great work.
Thanks. You know, I kind of like Marian, where Kat Reynolds was coming from. At some point, you got to play Carolina. Let's play him now.
For sure. And I also love what she said just about being the underdog. There's so many times where when you are on top or you're the number one team, number one seed, there's so much added pressure on you that you can overthink it. And especially for the younger players that have never been there, you know, they put more pressure on themselves. So I think the fact that they approach it from an underdog mentality is only going to help them. And I think you pair that mentality with, you know, some of the highlights that they've been showing through their possession, their defensive pressure, you know, they can definitely get the W.
And I'm glad Mark talked about Sink's play. You and I were texting back and forth throughout the match, marveling at either quietly or front and center the difference Sink was making on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, Sink was tremendous today. I think, you know, I loved her stepping up when Haran's not there. But I think what I would like to see as we move forward, especially into the next game, is how you have Sink and hopefully Haran, who will be playing, really take over that kind of final third and really start to get the ball in, you know, those behind their defense, their opponents, and really just take it to them. I think the two of them have the ability to do that. And so I think, you know, I don't want to see just one of them on. I want to see both of them on in the same moment, in the same game.
Before we close things up, and I'm not sure if back at the mothership they want to throw up a couple of questions real quick from the fans. Thorns Live presented by Toyota. We're nearing the end of this post-game show. But Marian, your thoughts. You've seen this club now in a condensed tournament-style bubble tournament, heading into the knockout rounds. You understand now the sense of urgency. It's win or go home. Where is Portland right now? You'll see them at the bottom of the standings of this tournament, but where do you see them right now heading into that match against Carolina?
Again, I think we've seen some great things from the team. I think, you know, they have a deep bench. Hopefully if some of the key players are able to play, it's looking positive for them. And I really do believe that the missing thing here is just getting the ball in the net. And I honestly believe once they get one goal, they're just going to start rolling. It's just that, like, it's so much pressure to get that one goal.
Apparently, yeah.
No, it is. And I remember back in the day when I was playing how that felt. Like, there is so much pressure just to get that one goal. But once it happens, it seems that everything starts flowing and they get back into that vibe and they gain their confidence. So I really do believe that, you know, they have the keys to success to beat Carolina. And they just need to focus in on who they are as a team and not changing based off their opponent.
Okay, with that in mind, our inability to score right now, but a lot of positives to take away. Thorns fans, Jessica wants to know what the odds are that Portland is going to be able to beat a Carolina club with the offensive struggles at this point. I'm not asking you to go to Vegas or anything, Marian, but do you like Portland's chances?
Yeah, of course I do. again, I think just going back to our last 4 games, there's so many positives that they have shown.
Right.
And I think as long as they put that same defensive pressure on Carolina that Carolina does to other teams, and then they get the ball in the back of the net, that they should win. And I really do think that they have an opportunity to win. But again, it's focusing on what the Thorns do best, not on what their opponents do.
So a rare draw against the Reign today. I think that's only the second time maybe that's ever happened in some 24 matches between these two Cascadia rivals. And now one of those matches against Carolina that's coming up. Portland knew it had to win today to avoid Carolina. The highlights, and we're about to look at them, gave Portland some early chances to put that first goal away that might have turned the match. Let's take a look at the highlights and see how close we were.
We look at the lineups. First for Portland.
And then a typical 4-3-3. Number 3, Katherine Reynolds comes in that center back role. And number 30, Celeste Bourret gets a start for Lindsay Horan. And on the other side, it's a 4-1-2-3 for the Reign. Number 3, Lauren Barnes, their captain, back into the starting lineup.
Huerta, dangerous 1v1, got the shot away. Bixby spreads to the side and pulls it in. Smith got the shot away, and Bixby got a touch to that. It was nearing the post. Sets this for Rocky Rodriguez. Got by Quinn, got the shot. Big rebound, Weaver after it. And enough from Betos and the clearance.
Their formation.
Rodriguez caught by Betos.
So both clubs actually with some chances. Quietly Bixby continues to do her thing with her 4th straight start. She will be, regardless of what happens against the Courage, I think Bixby will be really one of the talks of this tournament.
Yeah, she's been great. And, I think she showed us in the first game against Carolina that she can make some big saves. So I'm excited to watch her in the next game. And again, I also just want to highlight between Angela Salem and, the back line of the Thorns, like they've been really strong and they've had a lot of different personnel in there. And I think they've shown us each game that regardless of who's in there, they can step up. So, as long as they can take care of things defensively on against Carolina and we can get a goal, things should be looking up for the Thorns.
Marian, as always, thanks a ton for spending your morning with me.
I always love it, Ann.
Me too. Okay, that's going to do it for Thorns Live, presented by Toyota. All right, so the remaining schedule looks like this. Quarterfinals, semis, finals coming up towards the second half of July. We know that we're going to be playing Carolina. Date, time, yet to be determined, either July 17th or 18th, the Thorns in that NWSL Challenge Cup rematch against Carolina. All right, so that's going to do it. Another post-game edition of Thorns Live, presented by Toyota, in the books. Thanks to Thorns fans near and far, making this show so much fun, and always to Marian Dougherty. See you soon. Stay safe. Have a great week, everybody.